back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that has been prevalent this past couple years. So yeah, also my mic is not working. My mic died like halfway through. I'm filming like 4 videos in one go, so my mic died halfway through. So I'm so sorry about the noise and whatever may be in the background. But anyway, so today we're going to be talking about modern incels. Yeah, they just had to make this channel. And how they're just capitalists in disguise. Because they are. They just profit off of humiliating and dehumanizing women to make profit. And we're going to talk about it. So let's talk. For context and why so many men listen to this crap that they're spewing is because there's just this rise of loneliness. The whole male loneliness epidemic really plays into this, and also there's a whole lot of economic stress thanks to Trump. So yeah, he gets astray in this video. And there's a whole lot of, I feel as though there's a whole lot of identity confusion amongst men, where it's just like they don't know who they are or who they want to become, and they just feel a little lost in life, which is fine. No one has said no one is gonna have it perfect or gonna figure out how they're gonna go about their life or what they're gonna do or the choices they're gonna make. I also feel as though social media really plays a role in this, and it gave a platform to these men to just spew this nonsense. People like Andrew Tate, Myron from the Fresh and Fit podcast, and Charlie Kirk are thriving in this types of content just because they tell men what they want to hear instead of actually uplifting them and sticking up for them and being good people in society. I just feel as though what they're selling isn't masculinity. It's a business, it's a product, and people are just buying it thinking it's gonna help them, it's gonna help their problems, it's gonna make them feel better, when in reality they don't care about you. They never did. They're just looking to make money, have some and get some publicity. Because when it comes to journalism and mass communication and media, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So let's talk about Andrew Tate, Myron and Charlie Kirk. Andrew Tate is kind of what really started this whole alpha male content, misogynistic content in the first place, or at least his is what kind of brought up more, I guess. He pushes for extreme gender roles, emotional suppression, and materialism. AKA he just spews nonsense on a day-to-day. I honestly, when I first saw his videos, I was like, there's no way he's real. I genuinely just thought the guy was rage baiting, which is why I just ignored it. But then I feel as though he just kept doing it, and I just felt as though, wait, I don't think he's rage baiting anymore. And I was genuinely confused when I saw people agreeing with him. He's so misogynistic, it's stupid. No, genuinely. Like, he says the most misogynistic stuff that it's stupid. Fatima, please put an example.
Getting on a plane, and I could see through the cockpit that a female was a pilot, and I took a picture and I said, most women I know can't even park a car. Why is a woman flying my plane? And they banned me.
All cheating scenarios, 100% the blame is always on the female. Look after yourselves. When was the last time you put some makeup on? Do some burpees, fucking gut. Sort yourself out so you can end that. While we're on subject of cheating, if your man does cheat, the most stupid thing you can do is...
He presents himself as a rich, dominant guy that's just unbeatable and super tough and strong, and it's like, just stop. He has a paid online course that he called the Hustlers University to escape the matrix. What the Hustlers University is really doing is scamming you. Just saying, not escaping the matrix or whatever he's saying. And it's also built around affiliate marketing, so it's kind of like, it's low-key giving pyramid scheme. Moving on to Myron I feel like he's just brain rot. at this point. I don't know. He just gives his podcast Fresh and Fit, basically they just invite women and they just talk about stuff, but then they don't let the ladies speak, and they just bring these women on to humiliate them. And also I feel as though they have topics for like their podcast and stuff, and they don't really bring women that are educated on said topics. They just bring like adult models or like Instagram models, and then who aren't really educated on that subject, and then they just bring them there to humiliate them. I just feel as though bringing on the ladies is one thing, which is fine. I don't really care. It's not my business. Your podcast. But bringing them on to humiliate them, and their podcast is kind of useless too, if you think about it, because on some of their episodes, they're just talking about, so basically it's like a table, and like let's say the guys like Myron and like his fanboys are right here, and then they have like the ladies right here, and then they're like facing each other, and then he'll be like, oh yeah, so rate us 1 through 10, and then if the lady says anything lower than 10, she gets kicked off. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, and then they always say that, oh yeah, I could take it, but you can't if you kick them off. Like when like the women say anything that they don't like or agree with, or if the lady is making like a very valid point, which is honestly all the time, they just kick the lady off. So my thing is, don't invite the women and just spew your nonsense on your own, because clearly you just want them there to rage bait and just get clicks and views and publicity. You see what I'm saying? The more, and if you even look at his channel, when he brings on like these women and stuff, he tends to get way more views. So like I said, there's no such thing as bad publicity. He frames his debates as like truth and delusion, if you will. So I guess you can guess who's on the delusion side. But yeah, he picks guests that aren't educated on the specific topics that he's talking about. So it's just, there's just no point. I would much rather, which is why I kinda much rather prefer Charlie Kirk in this whole debacle thing, because it's like, well, he's not the better option either, because we're gonna get into it. But he goes around to college campuses, and yeah, they are educated on these topics. So I do like to hear the college students, like their takes on stuff. It's just he never lets them talk. He just makes money through YouTube and Patreon and dating courses, which is, I don't know why anybody would take dating advice from him or him. Next up is Charlie Kirk. Now, you may have seen this guy like literally everywhere. I know you've seen this disgusting smile, so let's get into it. He wraps his incel adjacent talking points into conservative politics, which, well, most conservatives do that anyway, but that's a topic for another day. He defends traditional gender roles and attacks feminism. He ties masculinity to nationalism, religion, and capitalism, which he's proving my point in my presentation, so that's why he's here. And he profits through speaking engagements with college students, which I just mentioned, who absolutely cook him every time. No, I'm not even kidding. Put the example.
Insofar as why I'm pro-choice, why I think it's justified. But first, I think that, your position is quite absurd, right? Because you're saying that it is murder to kill a human being, right, at any point in development, especially when it's in the mother's womb. My question to you would be, well, does this make women with IUDs murderers? Because it is the case that in some scenarios, an IUD will allow for conception to occur, meaning there's a unique human life there, but it will prevent its implantation, intentionally killing it.
Well, no, preventing implantation is not necessarily the same thing as terminating a fertilized egg. For example, if you take Plan B, again, it's not the same thing. Preventing the production of progesterone is not the same thing as terminating a being that has been fertilized. You do not know for a fact that the egg has been fertilized. You do not know that when you have an IUD.
Okay, yeah, so preventing fertilization or implantation to the uterine lining is killing a conceived zygote. So what happens? A sperm goes into the egg, right? The egg becomes fertilized. It's a conceived zygote. In some cases, it will prevent the implantation of the conceived zygote, killing the conceived zygote.
In some cases, correct.
So what do you say in some cases, women with IUDs are murderers?
Of course not, they're not murderers. We do not know for a case. That's like saying that
So what's the difference between an IUD killing a conceived zygote and like a mother going to Planned Parenthood and killing the fetus in her womb?
Well, so you're asking two separate things. If they knew for certain, to be more clear, that I have a fertilized egg and I'm going to take a drug to prevent that fertilized egg from attaching to their uterine wall, then yes, that is an act of killing or murder, of course.
Okay, so do you think all murderers should go to jail?
Do I think all?
Because when you see abortion, you will have your life will be changed. That we allow the massacre of 1.5 million babies a year under the guise of woman reproductive health. It is never right to justify the mass elimination or termination of people under the guise of saying they're unwanted. That's how we get Auschwitz. That's how we get the greatest horrors of the 20th century. Those people are unwanted.
So you're comparing abortion to the Holocaust?
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse.
It's really not. I don't
It's
think
45.
So yeah, he basically goes to college campuses and talks to students about, well, a variety of topics. I think some are like gender, some are abortion, Palestine, yeah, a variety of topics. And the thing with him is that if he realizes that a student is making a really good point, which genuinely most of them do, he basically does not want to talk to them. Put an example again.
It's a very move on your part to keep avoiding Dean.
Then debate me.
People like
Let
you.
me on the mic. Let me on the mic.
Get Dean on the mic. That's the whole reason I came up here. It's a move for you to keep avoiding him.
This was Dean's whole plan.
And it's like you guys would drive all the way here to watch a grown man debate college students. That says more about them, if anything, and more about him. Does he not have anything better to do than debating college students? Mind you, I saw a video of him at Cambridge University in England, and oh my gosh, I've never seen a man get cooked so well. And it's like you get cooked here. You get cooked here at almost every college and university, and then you decide to go to Cambridge, one of the best schools in England, to debate university students, and you thought you were gonna win. You thought you were gonna win. You thought you were gonna make your point. Lost souls, I'm telling you. Just deluded. He's just a deluded individual. And I hope he finds help and seeks it. Let's move on. The business of scamming people. The business of scamming people in their playbook, from what I've seen, step by step is 1, make men feel broken, weak, and rejected. 2, blame it on women and feminism for their feelings of rejection. 3, sell them the solution, courses, books, membership. 4, use hate or controversy that they get from other YouTubers or content creators as free publicity. Excuse me. And what I've noticed is that, like, if for instance a commentary YouTuber makes a video on them, they will sometimes reply. They'll reply and just spew even more nonsense. I've seen, well, he's not in this presentation because he's not that relevant for me to talk about. I've seen Sneeko do this 10 million times. 10 million times. And they just spew even more nonsense. And it's like, and I feel as though for Sneeko, he's just mad at the world. Not that excuses his behavior, but he's just mad at women, he's mad at everybody, he's mad at the world. I just don't understand. And what really got me with him was that when he started out, he actually made really good content. And then just followed this Andrew Tate pipeline. And it's like, I can never see this. No, genuinely, guys, he started off making like really good content about like Islam and stuff. And I remember I watched one of his videos on Malcolm X, and that was a good video. And then I never really kept up with him that much. So when I just saw him like a couple years back, and I saw him just spewing this Andrew Tate nonsense, I was like, I can't believe I watched this video. Like, I can't believe I watched this video. I can't believe I watched this guy. But yeah, I just feel like he's just on the internet to spew hate. Same with Aiden Ross. And then I don't even want to get into Aiden Ross because he's just a whole other time. He's just on a whole nother level. But I just feel as though with them, they spew all this hate for women and different communities and minorities, and then their fan base is just as hateful because they spew that hate. And then when they're in controversies and stuff like that, and when they're getting hate, they get hate from their own fan base, not just from outside, from their own fan base. And then sometimes they just wonder like, oh, why am I getting all this hate and whatnot? What you put out is what people are gonna get back to you. If you make content that just spews hate and all this racist rhetoric, that's the kind of people you're gonna attract in your streams, in your videos, and whatever it may be. So just saying. Moving on. And the people who get hurt in the process are young, naive men who are afraid of vulnerability, women because, well, we're constantly dehumanized, blamed, or targeted, and we can't even control our own bodies anymore. Sick world we live in. And real issues like mental health, community, and masculinity go unaddressed through this. They ignore the main root of the problem, and then they just skip to, oh, women did it, their fault, instead of really addressing the mental health issues that may be at play. And with their videos, they're not really helping anybody if you think about it. They're just creating more division, more anger, more emotional suppression, and it just leads to bitter and lonely incels that blame and take out all their misfortunes and shortcomings on women, aka Aiden Ross and Sneeko. And I feel as though capitalism loves the manosphere and thrives in it because it sells identity and confidence as like a product. Like, oh, if you buy my course, you'll get confidence. If you buy my course, you'll feel less rejected. If you buy my course, you'll feel less weak. And that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You can't buy confidence. You can't buy not feeling rejected. You can't buy not feeling weak. Does that make sense? You kind of just have to learn and go to therapy actually. And it turns emotions and feelings into marketing hooks. It turns people's insecurities and stuff into marketing. Like, oh, you're insecure about this? Well, I have a book that can help you with this. Or I know you feel rejected about this one girl, but I have a course that will help you with. And the thing is, this is at Andrew Tate specifically. He's always like, oh, I'm so rich, I'm so this, I'm so that. If you were so rich, you wouldn't be out here trying to sell people your course. You'd just be living your life and spending your money. Let's be so for real. Actual millionaires and billionaires, do you see them on here? Do you see them on social media selling their courses on how they got to be millionaires through their businesses or like their franchises? No, exactly. It makes anger profitable. It makes their incel behavior through anger profitable. Like, oh, you hate women? Buy my course so you can hate women even more. And I feel as though some men that I've seen on and other social media platforms view these men as like revolutionaries. Aiden Ross and Sneeko are a good example again. But they're not saying smart things. They're not saying things that are like, oh my god, no way. Like, do you get what I mean? They're not saying something that's so revolutionary. They're just dumb entrepreneurs, plain and simple. Mind you, this is coming from a girl that's not even good at economics, but even I know they're dumb and entrepreneurs. My final thoughts on this whole thing is that their message isn't masculinity, it's about money. That's it. They don't care about you. They don't care about how you feel rejected. They don't care about how weak you feel. They don't care about your insecurities. They don't care about the fact that you hate women. They don't care about any of that. They don't. They just want to make money off of you. And clearly it's working. And I feel as though modern incels, like, you could go around and you probably wouldn't know that some are incels, but they aren't underground anymore. They're not underground anymore. Like, they are influencers now. They are full on influencers. They are full on YouTubers. They have platforms. So they're not really underground anymore. And I don't know if that's better or worse. Honestly, worse. Misogyny is a business, and you're their customer. You're their customer. You're the one that's buying their courses, listening to what they have to say, watching their podcasts, talking about oh, you're a 4, you're a 3, you're a 2, women are this, women shouldn't have social media, he has urges, he has needs, a woman should stay in the house, a woman should cook, a woman should clean, a woman should stay in their place. You're their customer. You're their customer for funding them the more. And I personally think that it's time to stop buying what they're selling. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, stop buying what they're selling. Focus on yourself and your goals and your ambitions. And if you feel weak, rejected, or insecure about anything, they are not the men to look to. They are not the men to look to. I feel as though therapy may be a better option in this case, and not looking to men who are just spewing hate online. Because if you already have these feelings of inadequacy, and them spewing this hate to you makes you want to take all your feelings of inadequacy and putting it onto other minorities or women, and that's not going to help you in the long run. That's not going to help you in the long run. You're just going to grow up to be a very bitter and lonely person, and trust me, that's not what you want. So heal is definitely what I want to say in this. And I feel as though you really need to question, why am I watching them? Why am I in tune with their content? Why am I listening to this guy spewing hate? And really just like, not even to judge you or anything, but to really rethink and revalue, and just, I guess, just rethink your choices. And there's people you can talk to, and yeah, just seek help. And I don't even mean that in a mean way. No, I mean that in a really nice way. Seek help and stop giving these men a platform. Stop listening to what they have to say. Form your own opinions on stuff. Be educated on topics on your own, or from reliable sources, instead of these men who don't even let people that are educated on said topics speak. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much once again for watching, and please subscribe and like and comment. And I'm sorry, my voice is a little dead, but yeah, tell me what you guys think, what your opinions are, how you feel about this type of content, and I'll see you next time. Bye.